There are like 30 different enemies in Doom the Dark Ages, so I'll show you the best way to defeat each one. If you have any extra tips or ways to defeat these enemies, leave it down in the comments. But I've spent about 50 hours playing and have 100% of the game, plus I'm pretty deep into a second playthrough on Nightmare and have been attempting Ultra Nightmare, and this is what I've learned. Zombies, and soldiers too I guess, are pretty much just here for us to buff ourselves up. They're called fodder enemies, just big dum-dums that are there for us to get some type of small win after dying to the bigger guys. The soldiers are basically ranged zombies. At first they can be annoying, but all of their attacks you can easily block or dodge. Dodging is preferred, so you're not burning out your shield, but those attacks alone aren't going to do a whole lot anyway. The best way to get rid of them is a shield throw. This is why the shield is like the #1 thing you should upgrade first, because right away it's really good, but then you get upgrades that let you send it further and have a wider area of effect. Plus, after taking out multiple of these fodder enemies, you can then do a shield charge to do a burst of damage and take out some more, or you use that buffed shield charge on a bigger enemy. The combat shotgun with the explosive rounds upgrade is also a good way to quickly get rid of them, or defeat these smaller enemies with the pulverizer to use its runic ability that gains a charge once you defeat an enemy. Imps are the same thing, super easy with the shield throw unless they are green glowing stone imps. Those guys will just deflect your shield throw. Using a shield charge will be an insta-kill though. Really any weapon also takes them out though, like a shotgun for example. Parrying will also immediately cause them to explode. The Imp Stalker is your first non-fodder enemy that you encounter. In the first chapter with no gear, he can be a bit of a sponge, and at that point all you really want to do is parry their attacks and then shotgun or melee strike them until you get the glory kill thing to pop up. But later on, a shield saw leaves them completely vulnerable. The Impaler one-shots them to the head, including the invisible ones, which for the invisible enemies, the Nightmare Stalker, you cannot shield charge them while they're cloaked, but you can shield charge a nearby enemy to deal them some damage that way. But just hit them with the shield saw to uncloak them, and they become just as useless as the regular Imp Stalker. If you're lazy, like I said, you can just hit them with the Impaler to the head as well. They can remain cloaked while you do that. The Super Shotgun works, it's just almost overkill, but any weapon, especially when upgraded, just absolutely melts these guys. Pinky Rider is the first mini-boss fight, and he becomes possibly the #1 returning character to get fisted by the Doomslayer. The Pulverizer is really good for these wider enemies. The chain shot works too. The Shredder's pincushion upgrade goes pretty hard on them since the shield saw stuns the Pinky Rider. And the Super Shotgun of course works, but if you don't have fast reflexes, the shotgun can do you more harm since the bite attack feels like it comes out of nowhere. This is one of the only enemies where I'm sometimes like, do I really want to get in close? But I mean, I still do. It just builds the reflexes needed to shield charge, shotgun, and quickly shoot. After knocking the rider off, if you're close, like as in you did the glory kill animation, he will almost always go for a bite, so you want to just immediately block. After parrying any incoming Hell Surge attacks from the rider, he's usually pretty toast. At the beginning of the game, that's really all you have to do is shield saw to stun them, parries to do some counter damage, and then the combat shotgun. If you're at the first chapter and you don't even have the shield saw yet, you just parry and shield charge and shotgun. This video is sponsored by Nvidia, who just wants me to show you guys how to get the best possible graphical qualities and performance while playing Doom the Dark Ages. Of course, you're going to get the best possible graphics and performance from the RTX 50 series graphics cards, especially because Doom the Dark Ages features DLSS 4. Basically, this gives you the best possible visual quality while simultaneously increasing your performance. I'm consistently getting between 200 to 300 FPS while playing in 4K on an RTX 5090 that Nvidia sent me. And I'm doing all of that at ultra settings. A big thing that makes DLSS 4 so good is the new multi-frame generation that lets you maintain really good image quality while giving you up to 4 times the performance that you'll get at 4K. These are all of the settings that I use here. To take advantage of all of this, you want to come down to the video settings, go to the upscaler and enable DLSS, turn on DLSS super resolution. I'm using quality to get the best possible visuals. You can also turn it to balanced or performance or even ultra performance if the visuals are less important to you than the performances. Either way, it's going to look phenomenal though. And then of course, DLSS frame generation. I have mine on 4 times. To use 3 or 4 times, you have to have a 50 series graphics card. Plus I also enabled NVIDIA Reflex mode. This basically just reduces latency, which is super helpful for a fast-paced action first-person game like this. Typically, I would also say you need to enable ray tracing. That's like the first step to all of this. But with Doom the Dark Ages, it's automatic. It has ray tracing built in. You can't do anything to change that. The ray tracing in here is using id Tech 8, which features full dynamic lighting, ray traced reflections, and ray traced global illumination, which is why this game looks so dang good. And it's only going to get better because with a post-launch patch, they're going to be bringing path tracing and DLSS ray reconstruction. So yeah, that's how you make your game look absolutely freaking beautiful. If you want to get the best possible visuals and performance for your games, you're going to want to grab yourself a GeForce RTX 50 series graphics card. Using a GeForce 50 series graphics card is going to be the best way to see and play this game, but going into your settings and checking out all of the stuff that I went over is going to make it even better. Thank you to Nvidia for sponsoring the video. At first, the best way to get rid of shield enemies is to jump over or around them or shoot any nearby explosives because those do a ton of damage. Anytime you see an explosive, just shoot it as long as you're not super close to it. Then you unlock the ability to throw your shield. At that point, you just need to deal a high amount of damage to turn the enemy's shield bright orange if it's not already, and then throw your shield to detonate them. In the bigger enemy encounters, this is generally really easy to do. The fastest way is to use an impaler if it's not already ignited, or if you're up close, use a shotgun. Melee attacks also do a ton of damage, especially the second and third melee weapons. The blue energy shields are easy to destroy by detonating them with a plasma weapon. Shoot them with the accelerator or the cycler later game, and they're easy kills. They explode and deal damage to everyone around them, including any regular shield enemies that are nearby. Once you upgrade the shield just 2 times, you'll unlock the Power Surge ability that lets you throw your shield at these energy shields, which causes it to bounce around from enemy to enemy, and that is a really effective way to get rid of them. For the Lost Souls, the flaming skulls that come flying in sometimes by surprise, but most of the time give you a fair warning, these guys can actually be blown up with your shield, and the biggest use I've had for the combat shotgun late game is specifically for them, since the range on it is surprisingly large, and you don't have to deal a lot of damage to destroy these. You can basically hit them with anything. The Mancubus, or your mom, this guy is so dang annoying at first, but he's the #1 argument for upgrading the super shotgun as fast as possible, because that thing will one-shot the unarmored ones, and if they are armored, it instantly ignites it so that you can break it and then one-shot them. So I guess 2-shot the armored ones. Unless you're coming in for a quick shotgun attack, it's best to stay away so you don't get flamethrowered or ground smash attacked, but at least the ground smash is at least parryable. The chain shot is a really good weapon to use, because parrying his long range attacks does an okay amount of damage, but if you upgrade the first upgrade on the chain shot, that instantly charges it after a parry. That's a really good way to do some high damage. The Shredder tears this guy apart with the pincushion, especially since there's usually nearby enemies with him, and Impaler headshots are great. The Shield Saw stuns him as well. Unless you're getting overwhelmed by everyone around you and you have to be able to block and parry, I just always Shield Saw these guys. That opens them up for a really easy shotgun attack. He's also a really good target for the grenade launcher, which drops cluster grenades with every shot that hits a Shield Sawn enemy with its second upgrade. This is a really good way to destroy a ton of enemies quickly since he's such a large target. Early game, the combat shotgun with its upgraded explosive rounds and the triple shot do wonders against him, and the pulverizer is easy work since he's so damn big, especially if there's any smaller enemies you can kill to charge it up. But right at the start of the game, when you don't really have anything upgraded and don't have a lot of weapons, like I said, Shield Saw him to stun him, and then use your combat shotgun. It's not as good as the super shotgun, but it's still the highest damage weapon you really have close range until you unlock that. Tentacles are more annoying than anything. Sometimes they will be nowhere in sight, and then you complete an objective, and they're suddenly there smacking the crap out of you at a spot that they weren't at before. So just look out for their markings on the ground. If those are there will be tentacles popping out once you come close. The best thing to do is take out a shotgun and just unload all over them, but you can also parry their attacks. You pretty much just want to deal as much damage as possible quickly before they go back underground, because that's really where they get you. They just keep playing peekaboo with you and hitting you in the back. The giant tentacle is really no different. It just hits way harder and takes another 1 or 2 super shotgun shots. If you shoot it as soon as it pops out, you can quickly parry, since you don't have to wait for the super shotgun to reload. You can block or parry and it still reloads in the background, and then shoot it again. Or just step away from it and get some long range damage. The parry window on this thing can be hard to predict, but just parry way earlier than you would with most other enemies. Tanks are extremely easy to destroy. They shoot a parryable attack, then a regular attack, and then another green Hell Surge attack, all in like a 3-round burst. Parry one and it instantly destroys the tank. Just parry more early than late, otherwise the shot doesn't bounce back at them, it just like kind of parries it away. If you do parry the first shot, dodge or block the second shot because sometimes the second one will kind of sneak through before they're actually destroyed. And if you miss the first one, block the second and then parry the next one. They also take a lot of damage from melee attacks and any hard-hitting weapon, but there's no reason not to parry them. The Revenant likes to hang back and deal damage from far away, and these are the type of guys that I hate the most. So I try to get rid of them as fast as possible. What I like to do is either shield saw them and then kill them with a long-ranged weapon like the Shredder, Impaler, or Chain Shot, or do the opposite and shield charge them and then shotgun them for basically an instant kill. You cannot damage them while they're in their ghost form, so while they're shooting skulls at you, dodge the blue ones and parry the green ones to stun them, and then get a big window to either shield saw or charge. Or both. You can shield saw them to get them to pause, push block to instantly call back your shield, and then quickly shield charge them to get in close while they're still trying to figure out what happened. You pretty much treat the Acolyte the same exact way. Shield saw them to stun them, and then the Impaler or shield charge to get in close with the shotgun. Or you can just shield saw them first to make sure he's not going to move if the first shot doesn't kill him. Shield sawing is freaking OP in this game, especially after you get that last shield upgrade that extends the time on the shield saw even longer. You can also just shoot these guys in the head from long range if you're accurate. If the Acolyte has that purple bubble shield wrapped around them, that means her clone is nearby. You'll see like a stone Medusa-like clone of her, or him, I don't freaking know. And you have to take out the stone Acolyte before that purple shield will drop, and then you can take out the regular Acolyte. The clone, just like the regular one, I just immediately shield saw and then either Impaler or shotgun. If they're really far away, I'll shield charge first if I don't want to use like a long range weapon. If you see the 4-legged brain walking around, sometimes he'll be armored. If he is armored, use a hard-hitting weapon. That goes for pretty much any armored enemy. Use the hardest hitting weapon, a chain shot, Impaler, or a shotgun. The triple shot combat shotgun is even really good. And then hit him with the shield. Right after I break that armor, or if it's a regular brain enemy, I'll use my shield saw to stun them, and then either Impaler or shotgun. They are super easy to kill. The Little Mermaid Medusa chick, again, instant shield saw, Impaler headshot, she's gone. She's also a super easy enemy to just shield charge and then shotgun. I think you get the point by now. Like most enemies in this game, you parry and then shield saw or shield charge and then shotgun or Impaler, really. Impaler is like the best long range weapon in the game. The Cacodemon Hybrid, the Flying Brain, he has the same attack pattern as like a Hell Carrier basically. If you're dodging his attacks, you have to stay on the one side that doesn't have electricity coming out of it, and then shield saw or shield charge. If you go in for a shield charge, he'll almost always immediately swing at you, and it's pretty hard to block that. The easiest way to get rid of him though is a shield saw and then Impaler or shotgun, or just Impaler him from a distance. The Hellknight is an enemy that you first encounter in the second chapter, and they're a pretty easy enemy to get past. They're super predictable. Basically, they just keep jumping up and trying to smash you. Just parry them. Unless you just obliterate them with some Impaler headshots or something like the Cycler while keeping your distance, the best thing to do is parry and then shotgun, parry and then shotgun. You can also destroy both of the Hellknight's arms and it'll just keep running at you. He's kinda dumb. The Cosmic Baron is basically just a better version of the Hellknight. His attacks are super similar, he's aggressive as heck, just parry and shotgun or Impaler headshot. That's the fastest way to take him out. Shredder headshots work fine too, it's just that the Impaler and the shotguns just do so much dang damage. I almost totally forgot about the Cyberdemon. With the Cyberdemon, all you have to do is basically become a parry machine. Choose either the Impaler and headshot him, or the combat shotgun with the triple shot burst. But besides the Impaler, the number one weapon to use on the Cyberdemon is the super shotgun. All you have to do is parry, shotgun, parry, shotgun. While you're blocking or parrying, I mentioned it already, but your super shotgun is reloading in the background, and you can just instantly shoot him between parries. Some of these clips are on like 50% damage, so I'm dealing 50% damage than I normally would. It's the hardest you can really make it, and that's the only reason that some of these guys are eating damage, because this thing absolutely shreds them. Now for the enemies you'll encounter in the dragon missions. There are really only 2 different enemies you'll encounter. Well, there's another one. What is it? The Cyberdemon or something. You'll see a demon. Those guys, you just shoot and dodge their attacks. Pretty simple stuff. The hell ships are like the ships that you chase throughout the map. Those will drop 20 gold. That is not marked on the collectible screen, so it's kind of like extra gold. You don't have to destroy these guys, but if you want 100%, take a look at the mission challenges, because a lot of the times those are involved in that. And really, you're just pushing the boost to make your dragon go as fast as possible and shooting the crap out of them. You have like unlimited time, so there's really no rush, I guess, but just try to keep your aim on them or just in front of where they're going. The Hell Carrier is one of the only enemies that I was genuinely confused about at first, because the first thing you need to do is get rid of the bubble turrets, the turrets that are covered with a energy shield on the left and right sometimes. It really just seems to depend on the ship. There's one in the front as well. I think the first ship just has one in the front. And really all you do is hold down the shoot button, left click on PC, and then you're dodging with the spacebar. When you dodge on a green Hell Surge attack, instead of parrying on the dragon, it'll do like a perfect dodge to give you an energy shield destroying shot. This is extremely easy to do. If you're dodging and you're still getting hit, you're probably like me and didn't realize that you have to dodge in a certain direction on some of these. Their attacks will have like electricity stemming from one side. On the first ship, I think you only have to dodge either left or right. Later on, you'll be dodging up and down, left and right. Some of their attacks will rotate, so you have to pay attention. But you just want to dodge on the side that doesn't have electricity, like coming out and stemming onto that side. It only gives you like a brief window before they shoot that attack at you, but you have a bigger dodge window than you probably even think. It's just like parries. The window is generally pretty big unless you manually went into your settings and turned that down, in which case you can actually adjust the parry window from the pause menu. So yeah, you're basically shooting the entire time and just focusing on dodging, especially the green Hell Surge attacks, which will allow you to destroy their energy shield. Then you can move up and destroy like the main thing, the like eye of the ship. You don't have to dodge in a certain direction with these at all. All you're doing is shooting, and then whenever you see a green glint, just dodge. Pretty simple stuff. I really don't think it said in the instructions or the tutorial how to dodge those first attacks, or I just skipped past it. For the mech fights, most of these fights are really simple. You have one attack. On PC, it's right click that lets you hit them from a distance, and then left click to just do regular punches. Dodging builds up that center meter a lot, and sometimes it's more efficient just to focus on dodging than punching alone. That way you can just use your abilities. But really, both of those dodges and punches build that meter up so that you can use your real beefy damage attacks. The only enemies you might really have trouble with are the ones with the shield. If you hit that shield, they just instantly destroy your meter that you've filled for your special abilities, which is really annoying because it's so easy to hit this shield. There's like no indication that it's coming back up, and if you're already swinging, there you go. Now you have to build that meter back up. So especially work on dodging those guys. Get a little punches in once their shield is down, but kind of play it safe and stop punching earlier than you normally would. If you're worried at all, just focus on dodging, build up that meter, and use your special ability on them. Now, some of these enemies are boss battles, and after defeating them, they basically become reoccurring enemies, so there's your warning. If you don't want some of these enemy spoilers, like mini-boss spoilers, come back to this video after encountering them, because the rest from here on out are enemies that start as boss fights. They're not actual like story event boss fights usually. It's not like between important characters. These just generally give you a boss fight when you first find that demon. So we have the Agaddon Hunter. He's probably the most interesting mini-boss in this game. I think he has the most to him. He's not just blindly attacking or anything. He actually has this shield that pops up where he then has to like shoot the skulls in that shield thing at you. If you didn't know, you don't have to sit here and wait for him to drop the shield. He will drop it as soon as you go in close range. So if you shield charge, he's going to pretty much instantly drop it. This is my favorite type of fight in this game. It's basically God of War Ragnarok's Berserker fight. He's just gonna non-stop swing at you, and you just keep parrying, and in between those parries, just hit him with the super shotgun. When you parry or block in this game, it hides the reload animation on the shotgun. It's still reloading in the background. So besides those like quick swings that he'll do right after the other, you can pretty much get a shotgun blast in between parries. It's really a lot of fun, but I highly recommend just hugging this guy basically. As soon as he tries to back up and reshield, I just shield charge him again. The Komodo is a pretty interesting little mini boss too. The way he moves around is so unpredictable that it's kind of hard to just stick to one real way to get rid of him. Basically, you treat him as any other aggressive enemy. You know, he's just not as aggressive. He's like all over the dang place. He doesn't stay right on top of you the whole time. But you're pretty much just looking for that parry window when he starts glowing green and gives you a parryable attack. Whenever he parries, shotgun, or what I really like to use is either the Impaler and the Chain Shot, since those are both really good long-range weapons, but also close-ranged as well. Since he's like jumping from close range to long range, you can keep giving him hits without having to sit there and wait for him to come up right next to you. The Vagary, the spider-looking boss, isn't that hard, just more annoying because he's a really big sponge. You just parry his green balls that are extremely telegraphed and give you a big window to parry in. You can do that until he's stunned and then get some shots in, or be a little more reckless, but it'll get him out faster with some long-ranged attacks like the Impaler or the Chain Shot, which are both really good since the shots get buffed in between parries after being upgraded. And just throw your shield at its armored chest and each side of its legs once they're glowing orange. Getting in close to this guy is really not that recommended since his close-ranged attacks are really hard to see coming. It's the complete opposite of his long-ranged attacks that are super predictable. So just try to parry and take him out from a distance, target the armor, blow the armor off, and then you're pretty good to go from there. So to summarize all of the different tips, basically, a lot of this can be dumbed down to aggressive enemies, you parry and shotgun or shoot them in the head. Ranged enemies, you parry and then push to shotgun or shoot them in the head long ranged. If the shield saw can be used on them, use it to stun them, and then shotgun or headshot them with the Impaler. Ranged enemies you can also shield charge to quickly getting close to shotgun them. The Impaler headshot one-shots any small to medium-sized enemy unless you're playing around with the slider and you set your own damage dealt to 50%. But the Impaler even headshot one-shots the unarmored Hellknight. Any armored enemy, you hit them with the hardest hitting weapon you can, the rocket launcher, the chain shot, the Impaler, shotguns, and then once it's glowing orange, you throw your shield at it. If the enemy has blue glowing eyes, that means there is an enemy powering them up, so they have a lot of extra health, and you need to find the enemy who is holding the blue flag. Take them out, and everyone is back to normal. If an enemy has like that bronze bar and can't be damaged, you need to lower morale by taking out surrounding enemies until the boss will lower their shield. But I mean, the very first time you come into this, it gives you like a tutorial message explaining this to you. Once you unlock the BFC and the Dread Mace for your melee weapon, it's GG. You can take out enemies pretty easily from there. The Dread Mace one-shots most mini-bosses and also takes out any nearby enemies. Those are like just straight up overpowered weapons. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe for more Doom the Dark Ages videos, tips and guides, all that yada yada. I think this video is long enough. Thank you to NVIDIA for sponsoring the video. See ya.